being transformed through loss and grief in order to live forward with hope and passion and joy once again. It seems like a fantasy, doesn't it? Well, welcome to the Spark of Life webpage, where we really believe the following. We believe this because 1,500 grievers have taught us this, who we got to spend time with in 3.5-day retreats, and thousands of others in other venues have taught us the same thing. There's always hope to get out of that pit of grief and to have life again, have joy again, have the energy to get up in the morning and have the ability to sustain important relationships and to even improve them. We can be transformed by the bad stuff that happens to us. Well, welcome to this website. And we're here to share some good news with you. And first of all, we're sorry for your loss. But at Spark of Life, you're going to learn this because you have that power. You're our heroes to be embraced by grief, to embrace grief and be embraced by it. That almost sounds crazy, doesn't it? Because here's the thing about grief that you already know. Grief stinks, grief sucks. And if we're not careful, grief can suck the life right out of us for the rest of our lives. We don't want that to happen. You probably know people who have been there. We don't want grief to define the rest of our lives. We want it to help shape our lives and transform us into stronger people somehow, some way, where we get up from the pit of grief. And yes, we'll still have pain, but we'll have purpose in living and passion in living, and joy can return again. And we know that's possible because so many grievers have taught us this. And so embracing grief, you can embrace grief. And how do you embrace grief? You embrace grief by accepting the fact that you've got to grieve and you're going to feel bad. And you already know that, don't you? But there's nothing wrong with you that needs to be fixed. You're grieving. And so at Spark, we want you to know this. You have the power to embrace grief in the sense that, okay, when grief comes, you will accept it, you will grieve, you'll cry, you'll feel terrible. I wish we could take that away from you, but we can't. But here's what we can do. We can walk beside you and help you embrace grief and then be empowered by grief, empowered by your past. Somebody once wrote, "It's never too late to have a happy childhood." I love that quote for a lot of reasons, and you just got to digest it for a second here. We're not going to get deep into it, except we kind of are. To be empowered by grief is the possibility that you possess right now. To be empowered to get up from the pit of grief and with your pain to march forward. And it's not a straight line, is it? It's a messy line, but you can still go forward with your grief and be empowered to be a person that's stronger somehow, that is more in tune to other people's needs and whatever you decide what the purpose of life is. But you can smile again. And the last thing is to be ignited to a new relationship with grief. Whether we like it or not, we have a relationship with grief. Some people ignore that relationship and try to bury it. That's not healthy, right? But when you have help, when other people are around you and you're not alone, and you have tools, practical tools, and that you know the direction you're going with your pain and with your loss, you'll be ignited. You'll be ignited by this relationship with grief. As bad as it has been, as hard as it is, as many tears that you've shed, you can get up and you can live forward with hope, purpose, and meaning again. So at Spark, we offer you a lot of help if you decide to get help, but it's up to you to recover. And we want you to know this. You own your own recovery. You're in charge. You can decide to recover with joy and happiness and purpose and meaning again with your pain and with your grief. And so our online retreats, our in-person retreats, our online grief courses, and our grief coaching all come from a backlog of hurt and pain and working with thousands and thousands of grievers who inspire us. And at Spark of Life, we want you to know something because you have this power within you. We want you to know there's always, always hope. So run through the website, see what's there, and then give us a call, write us, get involved, do something. At Spark of Life, there's always hope.